What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Man's Minute, where I'd like to talk about offerings, because this is one of those things in witchcraft and Wicca that people think they understand, but most of the time sometimes they don't. And that's not an insult. It's just how this topic tends to get explained in really weird ways. Either it's over mystified or it's made to sound like some kind of spiritual currency system. Neither of those are accurate. When most people hear the word offering, they immediately picture something dramatic, like you need a perfect altar, special tools, expensive wine, rare herbs, the whole deal. And already, before we even start, that scares people off. It makes them feel like if they don't have the right stuff or enough money or the correct setup, so to speak, then they're somehow failing at their practice. And it's total nonsense. Offerings didn't start that way. They never did. Offerings exist for the same reason gods, spirits, and rituals exist in the first place, because humans need ways to relate to things they don't fully understand. We always have. Long before books, long before temples, long before YouTube witches arguing in comment sections, humans were already making offerings. Not because a god demanded it, but because it made sense to them. Early humans looked at the world and saw things they couldn't explain. Storms, droughts, fire, death, birth, the seasons changing without asking permission, and etc., etc. And when you can't control something, you try to relate to it. You try to understand it in human terms. That's where offerings come from. If something powerful exists and it affects your life, you must acknowledge it. You show respect. You give something meaningful. And here's the key thing. You give what matters to you. That part gets missed a lot. People didn't sit around thousands of years ago asking, what does this God require according to a rule book? They asked, what do we value? What keeps us alive? What brings us joy? And then they offered that. Food, drink, time, celebration, song, dance, effort. Those things mattered because they were tied directly to survival and meaning. That hasn't changed. The mistake people make today is treating offerings like payments. Like, I want this thing, so I'll give that thing. And that's not how relationship works. And offerings are about relationship, always have been. You don't bring a gift to someone you care about because you're trying to manipulate them. You bring it because the connection matters. Because saying, this is important to me, sometimes needs action behind it. Gods don't need your stuff. Spirits aren't sitting around waiting for snacks. Ancestors aren't tallying points. The act is what matters. The attention, the intention, the acknowledgement. That's why offerings don't even have to be physical. This part really throws people sometimes. An offering can be your time. It can be effort. It can be self-work. It can be choosing to grow instead of staying stuck. It can be cleaning up land instead of trashing it. It can be lighting a candle and actually meaning it instead of just going through the motions. I like to think that because of me teaching and sharing knowledge with thousands and thousands of people, that that's kind of an offering from me to my gods. Those things count because they cost you something real: focus, energy, and choice. Food and drink offerings are common because sharing food is one of the most human things we do. But even then, simpler is often better. Bread, water, fruit, milk, honey. These aren't weak offerings. They're foundational. They represent life. And honestly, a glass of water given with respect beats an expensive bottle of wine offered without thought every single time. Another thing people stress about is what happens after the offering. And I see this question constantly. Do I leave it? Do I throw it out? Can I eat it? Am I allowed to touch it again? The answer depends on your tradition and your intention, but the rule is simple. Handle it with respect. If you offered it with meaning, close it with meaning. Don't just shove it aside like it suddenly stopped being sacred. Ancestor offerings are probably the easiest place to see how human this all really is. Your ancestors were people. They ate, they worked, they struggled, they loved. Offering them food they enjoyed, telling their stories, keeping their memory alive, this isn't complicated magic. It's remembrance, it's acknowledgement, and even living well can be an offering to your ancestors. Breaking cycles, doing better, that all matters. Offerings to the land are the same way. You don't need permission to respect where you live. Picking up trash, tending plants, pouring water onto dry ground, these are offerings because they show awareness. The land doesn't need fancy words, it responds to action. In spell work, offerings sometimes come into play, but again, not as payment. Think of them as grounding, as proof that you're engaged, not just wishing. If you're asking for change, it makes sense to give something meaningful in return, not because magic demands it, but because balance matters. One of the biggest problems I see is people being afraid of doing offerings wrong, and that fear usually comes from people online making everything sound fragile and dangerous, like one mistake will offend a god forever. That's not how it works. Relationships aren't that brittle. Sincerity goes a lot further than protection. Offerings also change as you grow. What you offered when you first started isn't what you'll offer 10 years in. That's normal. Growth isn't disrespect, it's evolution. A beginner offering water with gratitude is just as valid as an experienced practitioner offering ritual work. One doesn't cancel the other. And let me say this very clearly. If your offerings are driven by fear, something is off. Respect is not fear. Gratitude is not obligation. Offerings should be given because you choose to give them, not because you feel pressured. When it's all said and done, offerings are one of the most natural things in witchcraft and Wicca. They aren't dramatic. They aren't transactional. They aren't about proving anything. They're about connection. They're about saying, this matters to me in a way that goes beyond words. A candle lit with intention, a meal shared in spirit, time given freely, care shown deliberately. That's an offering, and it always has been.